everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Dr. Wright Breaks It Down for you. My name is Jessica, as always, and I'm here with my dad, Dr. Wright. Hey, Dad.
Hi, Jessica.
All right, so we've been talking about inventions for the last few weeks and about how exactly you get from your idea you get in the shower to an actual product you can hold in your hands and sell and make some money off of. So you've got this idea. You've secretly, or with the disclosure, you've shown it around. You've gotten feedback. People say it's a good idea. You've made the prototype model with the materials that you're actually going to use, and it works. So you've done it, and now what do you do?
Now, Jessica, I'm not an attorney. I'm not some MBA whiz kid, but I'm a dentist and a teacher and an inventor. So at this point, once you have this concrete idea of what you have, it's important to figure out what it's going to cost to produce your product. You got to figure out whether or not your potential customers are willing to pay what it's going to cost you to make it. And I've heard stories about people who have these elaborate products that they make, and I go, but who's going to pay $85 for a book cover that has pockets in it? I mean, it's a good idea, but you've got to be reasonable.
Right.
Can you sell your idea at a profit? I mean, if you want to make something that's really elaborate just for yourself and your friends, that's cool. But we're talking about making something that's marketable. Now, by calculating the costs, you know if the idea is even possible, both from a can I build it point of view and can my customers afford it, and will I make a profit?
Huh.
It's like catering a dinner party. Now, you can have a wonderful idea about what you want to do, lobsters and steaks and all kinds of great products. But you have to remember, can your customers afford it? And can you make a profit on the whole endeavor? So, before you do your final product development, before you go to get it patented, which does cost thousands and thousands of dollars,
wow,
it's really critical to calculate what it's going to cost to make your product and turn a profit and determine if your potential customers are willing to pay that amount. This is a really important aspect.
So what do you do?
So one of the easiest and most basic ways to determine the cost of manufacturing is to go to a store and find a bunch of products that have the same number of parts or the same kind of parts that yours has. And let's say you're making the loudest whistle in the world. Well, go to the store and find something that's made with 2 pieces of plastic and a couple moving parts. Once you see this, then you have a general idea of what the cost is going to be. Now, don't go to Walmart, because those guys mass produce millions of items in China, and their cost is about a half to a quarter of what your cost is going to be. Go to, let's say, one of those specialty shops and look for something like my
like
whistle.
those little boutiques or something like that?
Exactly. Go to a little boutique and let's say find one of those cool little iPod holders or maybe some salad spoons or a fancy cheese grater that has the same number of parts and kind of the same type of parts that yours has. Look at the cost. Now write down the cost of each one of these products you find as you walk through the store. When you have about 10 of them, then divide by 10, and you're going to get the average retail price of a product that's made similarly to yours.
Mm-hmm.
Then divide by 7.
Wow.
Let's say that my whistle costs $6. Usually the retail price is 7 times the manufacturing price.
Wow.
So if you take $6 divided by 7, you get about 85 cents. And the truth of the matter is, my whistle costs about 85 cents to make.
Huh.
Now you might say, well, Dr. Wright, how come you're charging $6 for it?
Right.
Don't forget, you got to pay for employee wages, development, web costs, postage, rent, tool and die, insurance, and I don't sell my whistles for $6. I sell mine for about half that to stores. So I sell my whistles for $2.50 to stores, and then the stores double the price. You see what I'm saying?
Right. The retail price that the store should be selling it for, it's not the price you're selling it to the stores.
And if you've got to go through a distributor, it even makes it more expensive. So now you have an idea of what it's going to cost to build your product. Can you build it for that price? So now you go to a manufacturer and say, how much will it cost to build this sandal? You got to find a manufacturer. The way you do that.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, there's a book called Tom's Register.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom's Register is really great. It's very, very, very big, and it has every manufacturer pretty much in the world.
Wow.
And you have plastic products, it has metal product, and it also has it by region. And you can find out who, let's say in St. Louis, manufactures things. And what you do is you call them on the phone and say, hi, I've got this really cool sandal I'm thinking about manufacturing. We don't do sandals. Would you know anybody who does? No.
Right.
They hang up on you.
The importance of asking, do you know anyone else, is an interesting just kind of theme in our...
Asking people for help. I'm really good at that. And with the toothpaste, it was very, very difficult. After about, seriously, 45 to 50 individuals, finally I got the right kind of place to be. And
right.
At that point, you sit down with them, you talk to them. And this is important. The first thing they're going to ask you is, how many do you want to make? How many pairs of sandals are you going to want to make? And you've got to think about that yourself. How many is it going to be worth my while? 100? 500? Now, for my whistles, I knew I had to sell a lot. So I said, well, I'm thinking 25,000 to 50,000 whistles.
Wow.
And I said, that's how many I want to sell in a year, a whole year. And that comes out to be something like 2,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in order to support my family, and that's what I want to do. And so he said, I'll mail you something in a week. And I said, make sure you put in there the cost of tooling, jigging, and welding nests. See, there's costs involved. And in a week or so, he'll get back to you and tell you, this is what it's going to cost. You compare that with the number you got from the store. If the guy at the manufacturer says it's going to cost $5 a piece to make these things, and you realize that in order to sell it competitively, you should be at 85 cents, then you have a real problem on your hand, and maybe this idea is not going to work.
Right. I mean, do you just give up?
Well,
I don't really know.
Sometimes you have to say, I can't do this. But other times, this is where it gets really fun, is you go, okay, what can I do to make this for 85 cents? Maybe I can fold the cloth this way and make it in 2 pieces, and then I won't have to have these die cuts, and I won't have to have this extra labor involved. Oh, you can really open your mind and do things differently. This is the fun part of inventing. It forces you to do a better and better job and not be so loose with how you manufacture things. So once you realize that, yes, this product can work, I can make it for the right price, now you're ready to go ahead and get your patent and move ahead.
Wow. Well, great. Well, awesome. All right. Well, thanks so much, Dad. That seems to be pretty comprehensive. Yeah, everyone tune in next week for some other delightful scientific phenomena. We'll see what we come up with. All right. Thanks so much, Dad.
Thanks, Jessica.